Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Monday. That means I'm running my mouth. Welcome to Marathon Mondays with Mal. It is going to be a hot scorcher this week here at the mothership in Coburg, Oregon. Marathon coach, building luxury coaches. That's what we do. I was just looking at kind of the progress of 1359, which is that beautiful coach right there behind us. The next to roll off the line. And then we're going to talk about 1361, which comes right after 59. Not necessarily in numbers, but on our production schedule, it does. So yeah, I was checking out what's going on over there in 1359. There's a lot going on. And as you can see behind me, there's a lot of our crew working on certain things, fine-tuning certain things, because that coach has about another week on the production floor before it gets ready for delivery and quality control. Okay, not in that order. Let me know if there's something you guys want to see, and I hope you had a good week. It is going to be hot, at least from a Oregon standpoint this week here in Oregon. So I think it's going to reach the mid-90s, John?
Hundreds now.
Oh, hundreds now? So yeah, it's going to be hot. And for those of you down in the desert where it's probably 120, that's the deal. John was panning. Were you panning around this coach? The paint job on this coach is fantastic. I'm going to show you a couple of things before we go inside. Stick with us because continuing with our whole why you would choose a Marathon, I'm going to show you something about the tile work that we do in every shower. This coach right here, 1361, has some tile work in the shower. And it's very typical of what we do in every coach when we take the time, and that's part of the why you would choose Marathon series. Take a look at this paint. This was custom done with the customer and Pete Sutton from our marketing team. And do you see how that paint extends through? Goes right through the windows. That is what the customer wanted. And when this coach gets outside and on the road, this is just going to be a beautiful coach. And I think you can tell by getting up on this texturing, it's just the depth in that texturing is so beautiful. There you go, right there, John. Look at that, you guys. Look at the depth of that texturing. Marathon's paint team, second to none when it comes to creativity, quality, and the fit and finish of the paint job is just beautiful. Okay, if you have questions while we're rolling along, feel free to ask. We're going to go inside 1361 now. Let's not delay. I grabbed a flashlight so it looks like I'm actually doing something. Yeah. So here we are in, hey, Mark, my brother.
Here we are again.
Here we are again. I like it.
Yeah.
1361. John's just walking into the cockpit, and I'm going to show you something that we saw this morning. And John, if you want to pivot around, you can actually see what Mark's doing. So this is a piece that goes over the cockpit, actually over the driver. Mark is fitting that, and this is something that we saw earlier this morning from another craftsman. Mark's actually fitting that piece up there to make sure that it fits properly. And then what he'll do is he'll take it back, make those adjustments prior to it being upholstered or wrapped in leather, because above the cockpit, these pieces are wrapped in leather. So he's actually checking the tolerances right now. Another thing that John and Abigail and I saw this morning was this up here. This piece up here, and as you can see, this guy over here, there's nothing up there. Where on this side, you see how this is already wrapped in the beautiful upholstery? So what happens is this piece of wood is all one piece, and this whole piece right here, they fit it up there and they make sure it's correct, and then they take it out, they make some changes, then they bring it in and make sure it's correct, and then they have it wrapped in the upholstery department. And so that's what we saw this morning on the curbside. The driver's side, above the sofa, this part's already been done. So it's cool to see this morning that they were making sure the tolerances were correct. And then this one is done. That one they're working on right now. This coach has probably about 3 weeks left. Delivery is set for mid-August, so we got about 3 weeks left. So there's a lot that's happened in here. Look at all the protective tape over the galley. That is not just there for protecting it from bumps and bruises. That's to protect it from guys like me, sales guys that are nosy, that want to pull and look in drawers. Do not open, do not open. Galley lower left door, do not open. So they're obviously still working on making sure that all of the tolerances are correct in here. And this is just how far Marathon's production team takes it when they're building it. It has to be right. It just absolutely has to be right. And if it's not right, it's wrong. That doesn't make much sense. But hey, I love the Sub-Zero refrigerator in here. And it doesn't say do not open, but I'm not going to open it. But look at the size of that refrigerator door from the ceiling all the way down to here. And of course, down here, it's got the freezer at the bottom. Now, the real reason I wanted to show you 1361, not only to show you kind of the progress, because in the next 2 weeks, this coach is going to be transformed to completed, and we'll be able to show you a completed version of 1361. But as you can see, there's so much going on right now, and it doesn't look like it's 2 weeks away, but it really is. I want to show you the shower. The shower, and I'm going to jump in here, but John, I'm going to let you, I'll dictate while you see what's in here. Take a look at how much work goes into this beautiful shower. All of this tile work. Now, this is something we talked about the other day on Marathon Mondays. I believe it was just a couple of weeks ago, John, where we talked about tiles being selected. And we were actually talking about the floor, but the same thing reigns true when it comes to the tile work in the shower. Each individual tile has been selected for a location, and they are numbered. If you look close enough in pencil, there, John's got that 13, 16, 15, of course, next to 16. But each one of these are selected, and it's just got to be right because it needs to flow. This is all a natural stone, and natural stone has absolutely. Thank you, John. That's a great shot. Big thanks to John for getting up in the shower here and getting these great pictures for us. The bottom line is, because it's natural stone, it's got natural marks on it, and they have to flow together. And our team, our flooring team and our tile team takes the time to make sure everything flows correctly. And then the designers will get inside here, either Santara Perkins or Alan Christensen will get inside here, and they will make sure that the tiles are correct. And they also work alongside the tile team during this portion of the build. Absolutely beautiful. And that's a big thing that I wanted to show you. And so I'm really glad that we had the chance. I was looking at this earlier. This is actually the breakdown on the shower layout. And it's got how many tiles go and the sequence of numbers, row 1, row 2, all the way down to row 19. And it's really cool. 43 full tiles just on that one wall. Beautiful. A lot of work goes into it. Another thing that really stands out is the waterproofing. Behind this tile work, behind this grout, it needs to be completely waterproofed because you want this, like we've talked about many times and almost weekly on Marathon Mondays, is you want the coach to last for decades. And that's the way the coach is designed. So you put this ESR product behind the tile work, and it helps with the waterproofing to the walls. Now, everybody knows that a tile wall or a tile floor, especially with natural stone, needs to be from time to time resealed. That will definitely help in the longevity of the product. But what we do is we put this ESR product over the natural wood before you lay the tile and before the sealants, because that helps with the longevity of the product, especially from a waterproofing standpoint, from keeping this sealed, because it's a shower. And if we pivot around, John, you can just pan. I'll turn this off. Turn off this fan. It's going to be hot. This coach is really coming together. And it's really great to see. And it never gets old. I've told you guys this several times. The work that we do here on the production floor, we're not perfect. I'm going to say that right now. And I think you guys have heard me say this before. And I was talking with someone this morning about this. We don't do everything perfect here at Marathon, but I feel that we do the important things better than anybody else. And we build the best coaches in the world on the Prevost chassis. 45 feet of rolling luxury home. Things are going to happen, you guys. And what we try to do is we try to minimize those issues that you're going to have. And that starts on day one. That starts with the engineering of the coach even before we get into it. And I think Marathon does that the best. Another thing that Marathon does that helps with the longevity and eliminating problems as much as you can is taking the time to build it right. Not just building it, but building it right. And I think you can see that in that tile work, not just aesthetically where everything is lined up and everything has to be in sequence, but how far we go to make sure that that shower is sealed properly so that nothing leaks in that in that shower. Fantastic. John, let's move back into the salon. And I think Abigail's got a couple of questions or comments for us.
Sure do.
And it's really cool that we will see when this guide gets completed is that backsplash in the water closet there. Very, very cool. All right. Abigail's got I'm going to hang out here with this fan. I think Abigail's got some questions for us.
Uh-huh.
So break it down.
So first, Steve McLaurin says, it's a beautiful paint job.
Yeah,
it really is indeed. As is all Marathon coaches. But my question is, how does one keep that beautiful polished stainless looking like new without damaging the paint itself in the upkeep?
What a great comment and question. Thank you. What was his name again? Apologies. Is it Steve?
Yes, that is Steve McLaurin.
Steve, thank you so much for watching and for supporting Marathon Mondays. It is a beautiful paint job here on 1361, and we're not going to fully realize how beautiful it is until we see it outside rolling. And I really want to do that show when this coach is outside. Now, bringing up the stainless, and it comes down to one thing: proper maintenance on the stainless. Do not, if you own an X, you want to make sure that you have someone who's trained to polish stainless, do it right. Right before we went live, we were talking with Roy Anderson. He is a local third generation family owned business here in Eugene, and arguably one of the best on the West Coast. From polishing wheels to the sides of these coaches, Roy Anderson is the best, and he's the one that does all of the polishing on the sides of the X3 here at Marathon. We have a dedicated bay for stainless polishing here at the mothership in Coburg, Oregon. So if you own an X, whether it be 22 years old, 24 years old, or brand new like this Coach 1361, you want to make sure that the stainless is maintained properly, and you want to make sure that it's done by somebody who knows what they're doing. So feel free to reach out to a Marathon Service Department for their recommendation. That's a great question.
It really is. Our next one comes from Chad Choate. I don't want to say your last name incorrectly.
You're dancing around his last name. It's
I'm
all right.
really sorry. I just want to be careful. It says, morning, Mal, Chad, and Troy here from Sacramento. They say Coach 104.
Sacktown. What coach number?
104.
I like it.
They say, what's the total time to build a new coach?
A question that we've gotten several times, and it's always a good question because there's never a correct answer. There's never a wrong answer. We're standing in a custom coach. Almost every coach, in fact, I think every coach on our production floor right now is spoken for. They're all custom coaches. No two coaches have ever been built alike. That's kind of Marathon's policy. and they all have their own identity. Because they have their own identity, they have their own timeline. We try to keep a coach in that 4 to 5 month time frame from beginning to completion to delivery. But sometimes they run over, sometimes they run quicker. For the lack of a better term, you could say 4 to 5 months on the average from beginning to delivery.
Yeah.
Good question.
Devin Williams asks, has Marathon ever did electric pocket doors? Which I think that's what we have, correct?
We have air pocket doors.
Air pocket doors,
yeah,
yes.
We have air pocket doors. John, let's show him. And we're not going to push buttons here because I want to respect what these guys are doing. This is an air pocket door to close off this half bath. So this is the water closet here. This is the half bath right here with the commode and the sink and the vanity. But this is an air pocket door. And what John's showing you right here is the actual track that runs along the ceiling. One of the things that I'm also proud of what Marathon does is there's no headers in this coach. I mean, you can see that there's no headers all the way through. And when you see it complete, it actually right now, our guts are blown off the ceiling. So, when the ceiling is completely in, you'll see that there's no headers, where you won't hit your head. But this is actually the track, that the door runs along, but they are air actuated. They're not electrical. So do we do electric pocket doors? No, we do air pocket doors.
Awesome.
Good question.
Our good friend Jim Torrance says,
JTZ.
Oh yeah. Are there any bunk coaches being built or for sale at the mothership this week?
Oh, that's a great question. Jim Torrance, one of the friends of the Marathon Mondays show and Marathon Coach Corporation. Big thanks to him. Jim, and he's also a local guy. He's an Oregonian. He asked a good question. Bunk coaches are very popular. A lot of families are getting out there. A lot of younger people are buying these luxury RVs. And so bunk coaches are becoming very popular. I will tell you right now that we have one that is just going into paint, but it is already sold. It's sold to a family already with young ones. We do, in fact, though, have a 2016 on consignment. If you're looking for a bunk coach, we have a 2016 that just came on consignment. It's a really nice X3. So reach out to me if you're interested in getting into a bunk coach, anyone out there. Cause it's a real nice one. Low miles too.
Michael Carlisle?
Michael.
Yes. I'll just say Michael. Maybe you should just say their first names.
Yeah.
Right. How many miles can you go in between oil changes?
Oh my goodness. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question.
That's a great question. Okay, and here's the thing about me. I don't pretend to know everything, and it would be I would not be doing a very good job at my job as a salesman here at Marathon if I tried to tell you all the answers, because I don't have them. But I have the relationships with people all over, not just within the walls here, but outside here that know oil changes. Here's the thing. Chris Welch. Okay. Chris Welch is a wealth of knowledge. Wealth. I almost fell over that one. Whether you're at our Florida location, our Texas location, or here in Oregon, our service advisors at the 3 Marathon locations will help you with that. They're going to be the ones that know it. I don't know what the intervals are. I think it's like any other vehicle. It has to be maintained, just like any other vehicle. And also Prevost, which there are so many Prevost service centers, not just actual Prevost service centers throughout the U.S., but actually certified Prevost service centers. Like we have one next door that's not an actual Prevost center, but it's one of the best for servicing Prevost coaches and chassis right next door here to Marathon. They really know better than, say, me. But that's a very good question. And I don't know the correct answer to it, but I know who to ask.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Our friend Ron DeMaro
Ronnie
says,
D.
Yep. says, do you still do tours? And do you need to make an appointment to get a tour?
And John, let's head outside. Ron asked a good question. So during COVID, we were not doing tours, and we were not doing tours to keep the people safe, not just the people that come to Marathon, but most importantly, the Marathon employees. If I'm walking around with people who were last week in Arizona, and I bring them out here and have them infect everyone on the production floor, I'm not doing justice to the company or my job or to my coworkers. So now that COVID, for the lack of a better term, has slowed down or we've stopped putting so much restraint on things, we are open for tours. But it's still best to reach out, malw@marathoncoach.com, MALW. Good question.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right. Let's see. Yes. Zell Williams says, can you use a marathon in winter weather states like Michigan?
Absolutely. In fact, we have my coworkers, Randy and Dawn, are up in Michigan quite frequently. That's actually their home base. They do spend a lot of time in Florida, but they are based out of Michigan. These coaches are designed to deal with a certain amount of weather change. I wouldn't take it to the Arctic, but then again, I don't want to go to the Arctic either. So if that's your cup of tea, go drink it. Me personally, I'm not going or taking my beautiful Marathon to somewhere where it's that cold. But the coaches are set up to deal with a certain amount of heat and a certain amount of cold. So another thing, your best to find out from your service advisor, if you're going to take it to Alaska, and we do have several people that take it to Alaska. In fact, our Marathon Club president, she and her husband spend a lot of time in Alaska, and they're actually building a custom coach right now. So they would be a good source of information on that. And I do know that we do have several customers that spend some time in the colder states. That's my long non-Cliff Notes version of an answer to that. I love the slide outs in here because this is a custom coach. We have the ability to do the slide outs. A lot of times in hybrids or designer choices, we do slide outs or barbecues in post-production because we don't want to slow things in production.
Can we show the back of this coach?
The back of this coach?
Yeah.
We'll show whatever we want. The rules are there are no rules. That's what Fraggle Rock said. All right, let's take a look. Here's the back of the coach. One of the things that I looked at this morning was the Prevost letters here. As you can see, they're being applied. Those are I'm not sure if they're stainless or chrome, you guys, but that is really a nice addition to the backside of this coach. And not every coach gets that because not every customer wants the chrome or stainless look on the back when it comes to the Prevost, but it really makes those embossed seven spots for Prevost really stand out. Awesome. Very, very cool. Engine compartment looks really clean. And keep in mind, this coach already has over 3,000 miles on it because we drive these chassis, which is a great initial break-in of the chassis. We drive these coaches from Quebec, Canada. I see my man Ed Calhoun is watching. Ed Calhoun, one of the most beautiful custom coaches we've done in a long time. One of my favorite paint jobs. So Ed, hope everything is well with you. Sometimes I get to peek at the back of the camera when John is showing stuff, so I get to see who's watching. And here's another thing we could show you. This is the wire pole area right behind me. While John pans around, you can see the wire poles out there. Very cool. That's where we get all the wiring set up to go into a coach. Everything is staged and set up, and then we pull those wires directly from this area into each individual coach. And that's one of the first things that happens, the wire pulling and setting up all the wiring. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks to properly do all the wiring And that's right after paint, after the coach comes back down here from the paint department. Too cool. What do you think? Are we good?
We got a couple of questions.
Sure.
Ron asked another question, but I'm not quite sure I understand. Maybe you'll understand.
Sure.
He says, can those mothers be slid out for repairs? I'm not quite sure. Mothers?
Mothers? Mothers cookies?
Can those mothers be slid out for repairs?
Oh.
I think he means maybe the slides out.
I think he's talking about the slide outs.
If like you need to like, I guess, take out
Those
the whole
mothers. Or maybe talking about the engine. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Everything can be repaired.
He's trying.
Everything can be repaired on the coach.
Engines?
Everything can be retrofitted.
Engines. I think maybe he means the engine because he did ask it when we were back by the engine.
Okay, yeah. Can that mother be pulled out? I would assume so. It's not going to be as easy as my Volkswagen Squareback. I don't know. But, I watched a video the other day of a cat pulling an engine out of a Volkswagen bus and putting it back in 3 minutes. They actually have competitions. I'd love to see a competition of you pulling the Volvo engine out of this Prevost. So for those of you who are interested, we're going to start a list of how quickly you can pull.
Ron just corrected himself very dramatically. He says motors, engines
and motors.
He says, hey, that's my blooper.
No good. No, it's all good.
Azelle Williams asked another question.
Sure.
He says, can you show interior wall panels with the blue-white lights? I'm not sure. I think maybe he means the buttons in there.
Yeah. So let's go show that. We have time. Our groups, our switch groups.
I'm doing my very best to like translate some of these questions, cool. And I just appreciate everyone's
I'm not
patience.
quite sure if this is what he's referring to, and as you can see, the switch group is installed, but it's also covered to protect it, to keep it pristine. But that is a switch group. The lights are off right now on it, but when you hit it, it'll light up, and when you hit it off, it'll go away, so that you'll know that it's either on or off.
Azelle also confirms that is what he was talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's our switch groups. They're located throughout the coach in different convenient areas for the owners. Just from where I'm standing, John's showing you one that's right by the sofa, right behind the driver. There's one on the other side, right by the recliner and by the office center of this coach. And then there's going to be one behind the dinette, right directly behind me. And then there's going to be one over here in the galley. And then, of course, there's some mid-coach and in the very back of the coach, all the way back to that beautiful large closet in the rear. All right, everybody. I think that's it. The bell just rang. That means recess is over. I'm going to get out of here for the week. If you're looking to get into a coach, we have a couple of beautiful consignments for sale. We also have a couple of pre-owned Marathons that Marathon owns that comes with a warranty. Reach out to me, malw@marathoncoach.com. Let's get you into a coach. If you have a coach and you're looking to sell it, reach out to me also. We are taking consignments, and coaches are selling, and they're selling quite well. So please, if you're looking to get into a coach, I'm your guy, malw@marathoncoach.com. And once again, I'll say it. If you're going to our Florida location, check in with those guys. If you're going to make it to Texas, stop in there, make an appointment, say hi to Dennis McBride. If you're coming to Oregon, let me know. I'll take you on a tour. I'll take you around the facility, and we'll have a good time of it. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you so much to everyone here at Marathon for letting me do what I do every Monday, and a big thanks to Abigail and John for following me around here inside Coach 1361. About 3 weeks left on production on this one, so I'm excited about it. Be yourself and do good things. Have a good week. Take care of each other. And if you're in the Oregon area, drink lots of water. It's going to be hot.